Guys, so I'm back. It's a new day. Sun is shining. That's really good. We are going to start with our cream color, which is Whisper, and our mop brush. And all you do is you just tap it right in the top, and you'll have kind of a blob, like right on top of your brush. My brush was dry. And what we're going to do today is we're going to put a layer that's kind of on top, not on top, but above the layer that we did yesterday evening, this dark gray layer. So we're gonna work this color on top of it, and we're gonna do it like we did with the strokes. We're just gonna kind of press and pull. So I'll show you. So a little bit on your brush, and you're gonna have to re-dip a few times. So let's see if you can see. Why don't I start like up here? So these strokes are going to be about as long as these gray strokes were. They're just going to be placed above the gray strokes, and I want the end of it to tail in, kind of have a tail over the gray. I don't know if you'd call it a tail or like a feathering motion, like just right on top of the gray. And you're going to put this on pretty thick. And then we're going to let it dry. So if you have time to do this and then walk away from it for a little while, that would be good. So I'm going to start up here because it looks like that's kind of the easiest place for you to see. Let's see. So I think you can see that. So I'm just and make some of them big and some of them small. So you don't want them all like, see how I did 2 big ones and a little one? You want to see kind of some of this canvas behind things. You always want to leave spaces for things that we've already done to be behind. You don't want to totally cover up what you've done, but we are layering. So these are the top layers coming in. And you can kind of do at different places, like kind of that I'm going up higher, this one not so high. You can kind of cut in on top like that, if that makes sense. And we're going to follow that gray all around. This one lands on some silver. So I'm just kind of doing this right on top of those. I'm doing it pretty thick. I think I'm going to actually take a little bit of that thickness off. So I went over these. This has a little bit of silver, so I'm going to kind of just barely feather over that silver and kind of slant beside it. I love this color. This is a nice little place right in the middle. I'm just going to add some color there. So, okay, so that's on top of that part. We've got some more gray right through here, so I'll kind of guide you through this area. I kind of want to put a little spot right here in between the gold and the gray right there. So that it looks like that. I'm going to touch on this edge just barely because it kind of lands right there on top of the little blob of silver right here. And then I'm going to work over here, just like that. Kind of come right over here, and then maybe just put a few right there in between. Okay, now let's see, I'm going to work on this row. So there's kind of a gap of space where we don't have anything going on. This is going to kind of fill in that gap, but not completely. I'm going to set mine down, my brush hairs. When your brushes are new, they kind of have little hairs that come off of them and they end up in your painting. Don't worry about them if they are in your painting right now. After everything's dry, you can get tweezers and you can kind of pull them out if you want to. Bristles don't bother me in a painting, but don't like mess up your painting over trying to get each one out right now. Just keep moving. Okay, so I'm going to start in this area right here. I'm just going to kind of do that. I kind of went up and down. filling in that space. But I don't want to cover everything that I put behind it by any means. And whenever you get next to some gold leaf, just kind of be mindful and go right up over the edge of it. You can make it kind of wiggly, kind of rough. Just make sure you're kind of going right up over it, because that's a little part that's probably complete and ready to go. Okay, but don't overwork. You're going to see a lot of texture in these brush strokes. Don't put it on too terribly thick, but this does have buildup. These are not washes anymore. So now I'm going to kind of work on the other side of this piece of gold leaf. I'm going to cut in because there was a perfect spot to kind of just have some cream kind of cut in there. I'm even going to just kind of barely touch on the top of it. Just a little bit right there. I think you can see that. I'm maybe in the light. So now I'm going to keep working my way up. And kind of push and pull and drag. And sometimes if you want to, you can kind of blend upwards. And right up next to another piece of metal leaf, this is some silver right here, so I'm going to kind of be mindful of that and kind of go right around it, maybe a little bit under it. I'm going to work my way up in this little area right here. Actually, let's move to this line right here and get that done, and then I'm going to kind of carefully guide you through this area. All right, so I'm going to start right in the middle of this section, kind of get my bearings for where I want some of this stuff to happen. So kind of right in the middle. I can still see some gray above it. Some of the warmer colors. There's a really much more neutral gray right there behind it, like almost a greenish gray. And I want that to show through. Just kind of really, just kind of hit and miss, but I'm leaving some of that background to come through. And don't overbrush it. Once you put one of these down, just leave it. And hit it in different places. So I'm putting a little more pressure in some places and kind of lifting up. And I'm just kind of working my way right through the middle. Right in the empty spots. Brush a little bit up right through that middle. Okay, now we've got some more gray here, and so I want you to go over the third. So you're right in the middle third, and now once you go over that third, I want you to kind of go up just a hair. Bring this cream line up just a hair. So see how that kind of came back up a little bit right there. Now we're going to work kind of in this area. And don't overanalyze it or get too picky right now. It's all about layers. I don't want you to get afraid or give up, because it's on the right track. It's looking really good. I know yours have to be too. So, we need to come up here a little bit more. I'm going to put a few, not as many, right here. Just kind of keeping it a little bit darker over here by letting a lot more of the background show through, so I didn't put nearly as many, and they were a little bit lighter right through here. Okay, so now we are going to work our way up here. I'm going to have you start at the top. So we've kind of got this empty space coming right here. I am just going to start with a nice blob right through there. Kind of fill in that space. Now I'm going to come down and give these a few nice spots right over here. So I've still got a little bit of an area here that doesn't have any paint. I'm just kind of keeping my composition in mind. There we go. Okay, now we're going to keep working our way through this little bit trickier part. So here I've got some places that I can see a lot of the canvas through. There's washes, there's a bunch of different things going on, especially with the gold leaf. Anywhere you see an edge of gold leaf that looks like it needs a little bit more of a layer on it, because these are our background layers, these are our top layers, you're going to want to start working your way around this gold and just kind of be mindful. Like, I know right here I don't have a lot going on, and that gold leaf could use a finished edge around it. So I'm just going to do that right there beside it. I'm going to kind of come on top of it a little bit and kind of call that complete. And I'm not going to overwork it. I'm going to dip again. And I'm going to do the same on this side, but I don't want to cover up this. This is getting really interesting right here. I'm just going to give it a little pop, a little highlight right there. And so then I came back through the middle between these two pieces of gold leaf, just kind of really carefully kind of choose places to put it around the gold leaf in this area, if that makes sense. So I think I need some over here because the edge of this gold leaf could use a little bit more texture. The bottoms of these. And I'm just kind of barely tapping and pulling away, just kind of placing the brush on and pulling it off. Okay, do a little bit more in this area. I probably need to step back away from it and look at it. It's always good to kind of step away and step back. Okay, now this is kind of an angle just right through here. I'm going to soften this curve up with a little bit of this. It'll draw your eye kind of in a little bit more of a softer curve right here. I'm going to put some here, some here, and then I'm going to kind of come back in. I think I'm going to call that done. I love that. Okay, where else? Let me step back. I'm going to pause you for a second and step back. And we are getting very close. So be sure you wash this brush out. Don't let this one dry up. We're gonna need it again. And I think that's it. Yeah, let this layer dry for a little while. It might take 30 minutes, an hour, I'm not sure, but it's really dry here in Colorado. So where you are, I'm not real sure, but it should dry pretty quick. Just remember, don't overpaint. Don't keep going. Take breaks, step back, look at what you've done, because sometimes whenever you just keep going and you're close up to it for a long time, you're not seeing the big picture. So just try to step away and look at it as much as you can. But yeah, right now I think just kind of let it chill for a little while. Okay, so really quick, we are going to mix another color and put another layer on with your mop brush. So this is Cottage White, and I'm using just a little surface, a little canvas surface to mix this color on, but you can use a paper plate or whatever. But go ahead and put most of the paint that comes out. Go ahead and put it on your plate. I didn't put all of it. It's about that much, kind of just, it's probably half of the tube, I bet. So after you have that color mixed, you're gonna use your mop brush and you're just gonna kind of do exactly like you did before. Load it up with about that much. I just tapped in there. And we are going to start in this upper right corner. And I'm going to fill in a little area here. Then I'm going to come across here with a little bit right through there. A little bit above this. A little bit right there. So we've got some right up here. We're going to fill in this middle part that's totally empty. Okay. Now I'm going to really carefully just kind of select a few places to kind of cut a little bit more of this in. I'm going to kind of give it a few strokes right in here, a few right here, just kind of randomly, a little bit over here on this side, a little bit over here. A little bit right here. Okay. Where else? I really need to step back and look, but okay. I think I am going to go right up in here, kind of give this a little break. Right up there. Kind of come right up here. Break that up just a hair. See, I'm gonna come break this up a little bit. Okay, and I think I'm going to stop there. Actually, as I look at it in the camera, it kind of needs a little bit of a break right in here too. Okay, and I am going to call it quits with that color. That is our brightest color. That's the color that's gonna really give it dimension and pull it forward. We've still got a few more layers to go though. Step is your French linen. Grab the French linen, and I want you to get a pretty good heaping amount. And you're gonna add it to the leftovers that you had from that light color that we just used. So it might take about 2 of these heaping amounts to add to it. So I'm just gonna mix it right in there with that. I'm gonna get one more heaping spoonful. You wanna change this tone pretty well, but I still don't want it to be quite as dark as the original linen. So I'm gonna add another heaping palette full. So it's going to give me another tone. Another tone of the same colors we've been working with, which is what gives it the depth and makes it super interesting. So really mix that up. Okay. We are going to add this to the bottom part that we didn't venture into with our really light white color there. So this is going to go in more of the bottom half. So just load the end of your brush up, and it's going to go right on top of this and all under here. So right down there, we're just giving it a little bit of depth, just kind of breaking a few things up right through here. I'm going to keep going with this one right under that creamy color right there. I'm going to do the same thing right over here. Just kind of breaking those colors up right there. All right, we are working our way down to the bottom. I'm going to place a few random strokes that kind of lead us down to the bottom, and they kind of fill in some of the little gaps, but leave that really airy, watery look underneath this, because this color just really pops on top of those. I have kind of a place right through here that kind of needs a little bit of a break. Right to the middle, but this really kind of pops against that brown that's behind you. And just kind of lightly kind of go over that. And really lightly gonna just kind of give it a few touches right here and just kind of pull some of those colors down a little further. But not covering up everything that's down there, because that's really interesting and pretty. Okay. In this picture, that looks a lot lighter than it will look in real life while you're doing it. You should have another tone that's quite a bit darker than the white that's up here. So, okay, let's let that dry. I'm gonna give you a zoom on it too. Okay, so this is where we are. I'm gonna just kind of move it around so that you can kind of see and compare some of the strokes and the placement to what you're doing. And this is getting really close to complete, and you can quit at any time. I think this would be really pretty to sign and call it done right here. A really light, airy piece of work. Um, I'm going to add a little bit more. We're going to go a little bit further on it if you would like to keep going. Um, I'm going to add some more darks to it in just a few places that'll give it a few pops, but it will change the look from this really light and airy look that we have going on right now. So if you like this, you can stop here, sign it at the bottom, the top, wherever you want to, and it would be beautiful. You can always bring in a few more of your colors that we've been working with and kind of move things around where you think they need them. Um, I kind of came back, I think I broke up some of this hard line that was coming this way, and I broke it up with that neutral color, just kind of filling in a little bit more down there. So I'm going to kind of keep it down there, and you can pause it if you need to. But yeah, so we'll keep going, and I'll do a few more steps with the black, and I'll get you to a place where I think is a really good spot to stop there, and then we're going to add the pop of color. Okay, so we are going to add the relic. I said black, but I meant relic. I just kind of summarize the colors sometimes. So we're going to take your darker color, your relic, and we are going to add a few pops that are kind of going to add another dimension. So if you want to put them in exactly the places I'm doing it, you're welcome to follow along. I will zoom in on it too and let you know, but I'm just going to kind of carefully start placing them. So I think it needs one right here. And it's just kind of a mark like that. And then I'm going to put one right here. And I just want it to kind of pop like that. And let's see, I've got one, I've kind of got it planned out a little bit. I'm going to do one right here. Then one right here. Let's see, I've got that one, and then one right here. Okay. I think that will do it. I may add one right over here because I just have a little bit of that silver leaf that is exposed. So I'm just going to do a little bit right there. And I think I'm going to call it done. I may do one more. I'm going to do just a tiny bit right here because I have a plan for when we do the pops of color for there, but I think it needs that if you're going to stop here with the darks. So, and you can always add more, but I think this is a good place that I would like to stop. You would sign it. I would sign it just like right across here. But I think it is at a really beautiful place right there. We were in Restoration Hardware the other day, and these are the only colors that I saw in 3 stories of shopping. Like, it's all home decor, couches and furniture, and I mean, just gorgeous things that I could never afford, but like it's just amazing. And they didn't have any color anywhere. It was all these warm taupes and grays and charcoal grays and creams, and that was it. The whole store is crazy, but it was beautiful. Like, and this is just like something I think would go anywhere, really. So, okay, I will be back with some color pops. If you're ready to move to that, I'm actually gonna do this color that I told y'all about. It's vintage teal. Definitely you don't have to go further with these colors, but this is just going to give you an idea if you want to go with some blues in it. And then I'm definitely going to stop there. But if you wanted to, instead of this blue color, if you wanted to do a really cute pink, a really cute coral, an orange, you know, any color really. A green, I love like this hunter green right now. It's really pretty in decor. Blues, navy blues are always pretty mixed with these colors. You can go anywhere, but this is kind of a teal. It's called vintage teal. I just put a little bit on. You put it on a plate or whatever you have, and you just tap your brush. My brush was clean and kind of dry for the most part, and I am just gonna add it in quite a few places. It's gonna really change the look of this now. So if you want to go further, here we go. So I'm going to start in this area up here, and I'm going to kind of come down right here to here. So it's just going to be like kind of a, almost like a triangle area, and just kind of push in and then pull, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go right here. You see that? Yep. Right here in this little gap of space. I'm going to load my brush up again. I'm also going to go on the other side of this gold. I like for some of these big spots to kind of come off the canvas, so you can even do it on the other side of the canvas right there. I'm going to load up my brush again, and I'm going to go right next to this. If your paint is still wet, it might get a little bit of that in it, but that's okay. Just kind of watch out for it. Mine did get a little bit of it in it, so I'm actually going to pause and wipe it out real quick. A little bit right in this area. I'm going to do just a little bit right here. That's a littler spot of it. And I'm going to go right down to the bottom here. Drag it all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to do a spot here. And I'm going to have that kind of come off the side just a little bit. And then a spot right here. I'm going to kind of overlap the gold leaf right there. A little spot right here. A spot right up here. And then this is kind of the final spot. So everything is kind of led your eye kind of around, and then that's just kind of that flow that I like. I'm just gonna put this right up against this. It's kind of right on top of it. Just like that. And then I'm just gonna check, make sure we've got everything on there right, and nothing just too thick to where it really makes a weird texture. I might even, let's see, I'm gonna lift some of that up because it was a little heavy there. I think I'm going to add one more spot right here in between the white and the gray. Just a little bit up there. Yeah, I like it. Let me zoom in.